Hi, everyone. Have you ever been in a traffic jam where there's cars everywhere and you are frustrated because you have a destination to get to on time? Now, had you listened to Google Maps, you would have probably seen that the highway was a much better choice, much more efficient, streamlined, and probably a much more pleasurable experience. Now, this is like learning styles. Now, for kids, it's not so much the subject matter itself, but the route to get there, the route that they take to understand that. And that's like their learning styles. So the route that our kids take to understand new material and new information, new content, is often the most important and most meaningful stuff that we do as educators. Now, everyone has a preferred learning style. And this learning style highlights how we process, how our brains process and retain and even recall information. So tapping into our kids' learning styles offers a way for us to capitalize on their strengths and to make things much easier for them to understand. Now, if your child has ever struggled in the past with concepts or content, it's likely not a result of them not being able to grasp it or understand it, but rather the method by which, or the route by which we deliver that to them. So today we're going to unlock our kids' learning style so that we're able to crack the code on their engagement, on their motivation, and their success. And this video is going to help you unlock your child's learning style so that you can better tailor your curriculum and meet them where they're at. So there are 3 learning styles that we're going to uncover today, and your child likely falls under one of these categories. The first learning style is the visual learner. Most kids fall under this category. I myself am a visual learner, but these kids usually enjoy making art, creating posters, maybe making dioramas. They're likely more on the organized or neater side of things, so their room is often very tidy. They like order and balance. If these things are true, then you likely have a visual learner. So visual learners process the information when they can see it, okay, versus words, versus text. These kids learn best when they have pictures over words. So mind maps and diagrams and videos, these are all excellent ways to tap into these kids' learning style. So they like to see the ideas and the instructions before they dive in or before they are shared out loud. They like to see these things demonstrated for them. They like to see it laid out visually. So some of the strategies that you might include for your visual learner include things like videos, right? So this is one of my favorite shows, science shows called SciShow Kids. So videos are a great way for our visual learners to learn. As I said already, mind maps and graphic organizers, but also an abundance of art supplies, having those handy and at the ready so that our kids can express what they know visually. Often they're not able to necessarily articulate what they know through words, but they can show what they know through pictures, drawings, dioramas, sculptures, all of those kinds of ways. Of course, modeling before we do it. So modeling and demonstrating, those are strategies that you're going to want to offer your children before you expect them to go and do the task themselves. Giving them a variety, like I mentioned, of art supplies and art media to tap into, as well as visualization exercises. So particularly if you're doing a read aloud and you want your child to come away with, comprehending this story, being able to retell the story, do a little visualization exercise for them, either with a graphic organizer like you see here, or even through something like a plasticine painting. Have them recreate a scene from something that they've just read, and that's going to help reinforce that understanding so much stronger. All right, the next learning style we're tapping into today are our auditory learners. Now, if your child loves to listen to or compose music, maybe they devour audiobooks versus flipping pages of a real book, you've likely got an auditory learner. So auditory learners like to speak and share the topics that they're learning about to show their understanding. So they need lots and lots of opportunity to dialogue, to talk, to share. These are probably your chatter boxes. But it's really important that we give our kids that space and time to really be able to communicate their ideas orally. Now, these are kids that process their information through talking. And so when they're reading, they might be sounding aloud those unknown words. They might be listening to videos or podcasts about how something works. These are all really great strategies for our auditory learners. Now, these kids can also be distracted by a lot of background noise. So we want to be mindful of that and keeping like a lower level noise, as well as just playing soft music maybe in the background. I'm thinking Enya or something classical. These are all great soothing ways to really help our auditory learners thrive. These are kids that love to tell jokes. You know, they love sharing details. They love answering questions. These are kids that are typically very strong with language. They often will remember music and lyrics. So if you're singing in the car, bopping along, these are the kids that are going to know the lyrics to everything. And they enjoy talking to others. They enjoy talking to others, whether it's on digital devices or the phone, or a dinner time conversation. These are our chatter boxes. So some strategies to support your auditory learners, include poems and songs and finger plays like these here. And of course, listening to audiobooks. So giving them, stories and podcasts to listen to on audio, on headphones. These are kids that are also going to thrive when it goes time to show what they know through storytelling. So whether it's a puppet show or dramatic play, these are great strategies to really hook our auditory learners in. And again, offering lots and lots of opportunities to talk and share orally. So this is what we call a sharing circle, and just sharing and talking about, something fun that happened on the weekend or something fun that happened this week at homeschool. Giving them opportunities to talk and share later becomes the fodder or the method by which they go and write about meaningful experiences to them. Now, the next learning style we're going to tap into is our kinesthetic learners. Now, these are kids that are our movers and shakers. There are jelly bean jumpers. They just can't sit still. They are always on the go. Likely these kids, if you have them, they're known to fidget constantly. So they love the fidget toys, anything tactile or sensory. These kids thrive with hands-on learning opportunities. So this style is, the movers and the shakers and the doers. These kids really need an active learning model. So building models, constructing, sculpting, designing. These kids, really want an active role in their educational experiences. So they're not going to just sit and do seat work and do as they're asked. These are kids that need a lot of movement built into their day. So these kinds of kids learn best through their senses, right? So seeing, touching, hearing, smelling, tasting, all of those things are really important for the kinesthetic learner. Now, they want to show what they know through demonstrating. So something like this, where you're asking them to retell a story. This is if you give a mouse a cookie. We did the circle story here with some plasticine, which is essentially just modeling clay. And this is a great tool for our kinesthetic learners because it allows them to get active with their fingers and their hands, and then to show what they know through actual little tiny sculptures. Again, plasticine, Play-Doh, so showing numbers and you could even get out pipe cleaners and have them show numbers with pipe cleaners, and molding and bending. These are great strategies for these kids. Also manipulative, so anything where they can move, and so math, I'm thinking math learning becomes really an important place for you to use manipulatives and hands-on concrete objects. So whether those are counters, stones, Smarties in this case, anything where they can sort of be moving their hands around and manipulating objects is a really great strategy as well. These are kids who do not sit for long periods of time, so they need movement built into their day, whether those are short movement breaks, yoga breaks, even little integrated movement breaks where you offer them like a tennis ball under their foot while they're seated, rolling it with their feet, those kinds of things. These kids are always on the go. This is an example of an activity for a kinesthetic learner, building things. So STEM activities where they're actually taking recyclables and building. Here they're building a chair for baby bear. And also, again, plasticine. So plasticine becomes a method or a mode for which to draw out retellings of stories. Or in this case, we were doing legend writing. So starting with the plasticine pictures then becomes a gateway to writing. Once again, plasticine, a big hit, a big favorite. This is available at the dollar store. You know, $1 goes a long way for our kinesthetic learners. Rice and sand and paint and salt, all of those sensory materials are really great for our kinesthetic learners. And of course, Play-Doh, good old-fashioned homemade Play-Doh is also a really great source for our kinesthetic learners. Now, I want to share with you really quickly here what a concept like number sense might look like with the 3 different learning styles. So if you have a kinesthetic learner, this might mean that you're going to explore the number 4, the number in this case, let's just explore the number 3 since I have that here. Take the number 3 and have your child paint a giant number 3 using a scarf or pretending their hand is a paintbrush. Have them paint a number 3 in the air. Use different body parts like their elbow and their nose and have them dip their nose into the paint, pretend paint, and have them draw a giant number 3 in the air. Another example, as I mentioned, was plasticine Play-Doh snake numbers. So this is a great way to get our kids actively involved with number sense, you know, making balls of clay or Play-Doh, again, manipulating with their fingers. Now, if you have an auditory listener, that's kids who learn through listening and through talking, you're going to want to incorporate something like this, where kids are using musical instruments, their bodies as percussion. You know, we've got drums, we've got shakers. You can invite them to show the number through sound. So show the number 3 with 3 beats, show it with 3 hops, show it with 3 shakes, and you can build on by adding into, you know, math sentences, number sentences, 3 beats plus 2 shakes equals how many in all, right? And if you have a visual learner, something like this number line, a visual number line where you create a sort of a oil resist number, paint over it, and have these hanging up in your learning space as a visual number line, or something like this where you invite your child to build a number line, and they can do this cooperatively using these little post-it sticky notes to have them build a concrete sort of number line that they can see and feel and experience. I hope you enjoyed that session on learning styles, and hopefully that helps you to unlock the keys to your child's route to learning. And if you like that, this workshop, I would be thrilled for you to come and join us on the waitlist for Artful Teaching, Joyful Learning. We have a waitlist for our May cohort that's starting in just a couple weeks' time. And if you're on the waitlist, you will be the first to find out about this all-in-one comprehensive curriculum and implementation program. It's got all of the learning styles covered. So no matter if you have an auditory or a kinesthetic or a visual learner, it's all covered inside this all-in-one curriculum. It's all organized by themes with supply lists and books at the ready, as well as done for you day plans taking you from September to June. So hop on over to the wait list. I can't wait to see you inside the program. Bye for now.